I still don't know what I'm doing. I've been messing with this camera day in and day out, trying to figure out how these settings work. I'm still struggling. I'm down here doing another random vlog, solo again. Still getting a hang of this, still trying to vibe, still working the project. Kyle and myself, we're sticking with it. We're chugging along. Winter's kicking into full swing, so the work is kind of getting harder to do because we're getting adjusted to less daylight, still maintaining busy schedules, less sun, less fun outdoor activities. You kind of hit that natural slump in energy, that hibernation type of a mode, but you got to keep your feet moving and you got to keep your head forward. So we're definitely doing that, and it's going okay. Still having fun, still being the theme of all of this, having fun with a buddy. And lately I've been on this kick of staying positive. I've been on this kick of, don't let things rule over your creativity. You should be the master of that. And so I kind of want to piggyback off of those two conversations. And I want to offer up another aspect of this that I feel is very important and fits well with the mantra of being the master of your creativity. Don't let anything rule your creativity. And staying positive. How can we bring those together? You have to be the master of your thoughts. You have to be the master of what you're letting in to your soul. Now, I understand that for some people's worldview, the soul doesn't exist. But that's okay. I think that it still makes a lot of sense. If you think about like diet for your body, at the end of the day, your brain is, chemical reactions. Your body is that constantly. And I know that seems kind of like, well, duh. But there's some significance to that. It's overly simplistic, but at the same time, I feel like we can garner some wisdom from that. And so you have to take care of your diet for your mind, for the subconscious part of you, for your spirit, for your soul, the part of you that feels, the part of you that hurts, the part of you that laughs, the part of you that cries, the part of you that shouts for joy, the part of you that gets angry. You can't always feed yourself a poor diet. So let's go back to the body for a minute and think about the physical aspect. You can't eat only Reese's peanut butter cups and expect your body to feel good about going for a jog or being out in the direct sunlight playing volleyball. Even though that's fun, it should be fun, but your body won't feel very good if you haven't given yourself water and micronutrients, which are your vitamins and minerals, or giving yourself sufficient macronutrients, which is protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Well, your soul, your spirit, your subconscious, what you're feeling in your heart, the parts of you that you can have some control over programming the way that they feel and express themselves, well, their diet matters too. And so things that should bring you joy may not bring you joy if your soul diet is unhealthy. And that's something that we overlook. And even though I know that, and I've known it for a while, I've paid attention to this. My mom even mentioned that to me when I was a teenager. So I've known this. It's become more real to me recently. And even though I've known this, and even though it's become real to me recently, it's still something I have to remind myself of. And so if you aren't aware of it, and you aren't training yourself to think about this, then you should start. And if you see this video, hopefully this will inspire you to do that. And like many things that I've mentioned before, you're not going to be good at this right away. You're not going to be good at monitoring what you let in your mind and in your heart and in your soul. It's just something you have to practice. And what do I mean? I mean the media, the things that you watch, the things that you listen to. For instance, the news is important, but the things that garner clicks, the things that garner your attention is almost always negative, and you can't always look at it. And it was like when I mentioned, don't let politics control your creativity, because it'll be detrimental. It can be a part of it, sometimes, but don't make that your main focus. Okay, same thing here. Don't let the negative news that you can always read be the only thing that you let in that regard, right? Read something else, learn something else. There's some positive news out there, you just have to go find it. There's scientific innovations happening monthly that are awesome. There's been some neat agricultural stuff in the last couple of years. For instance, I believe in France, don't quote me on that, you'll have to fact check me, did some pretty cool like rooftop garden stuff for communities and growing most of their food, and it was pretty cool stuff, right? Well, you don't really hear about that kind of stuff if you don't go looking for it, and it's kind of a shame, but at the same time, that's how the world works, and we just have to learn how to navigate that. But anyways, I'm rambling a little bit from my main point, which is what you let into your mind and in your soul and in your heart will affect what comes out of you, right? So this is going to affect your creativity too. The music you listen to. Now, I like to listen to very violent heavy metal, death metal, grindcore. I don't know. The genres, to be completely honest with you, kind of get silly to me sometimes. But I still enjoy them. I still like it. I don't really pay attention to the genres. I know them, but anyways, there I am. I'm tired, so I'm going on these little mental tangents, but even that stuff, even though I like it, I have to have moments where I detox from that, and I don't let that in. Video games. Maybe you're a gamer. I'm a gamer. I don't game as much as I used to, but I still do. I was just playing a little bit. And the community of people tends to get toxic. The game is, very stimulating and violent sometimes. And just that energy in you. You may not want that always. The movies, don't always look at something that gives you anxiety, a horror movie, a thriller, or something sad. You don't always want that in you. And then even if it's not heavy metal music, sometimes you can listen to music that's stuck in a mode of depression. And too much of it, too much diet of sugar, or too much diet of carbohydrates, or only meat, or only fat. It's not good. You have to have a balance. And so you have to have a balance of what you let in, and also people. And it's painful to admit that, and it's painful to notice that, and sometimes that person is you, that you have to realize, wait a minute, I'm kind of toxic, and I need to not be toxic to these people for a little while, or maybe you aren't, okay? And maybe you have people in your life that are toxic, or if they're not directly toxic, they create toxic situations that you have to deal with, and that kind of stuff weighs on you. It's a part of you, whether or not you think that it is. It's a part of you, and it's inescapable. The language that you use, and I know a bunch of people are gonna be possibly screeching at me about, oh, you're prude and this and that. And well, if you notice, Kyle and myself have made an active decision to keep this channel rated PG or PG-13 at worst. And there's a reason for that. It's by design. It's not just a potential monetary gain, but it's also because we don't want to put out the kind of energy that comes with coarse language and coarse joking. Do I do that in my personal life? Yes. Am I actively trying to weed it out? Yes. I don't want that to be the staple of my existence. I don't think that it's healthy. Again, it's the type of diet that you have for your, who you are internally. And I think it's important to limit it, if not completely eliminate certain things. And again, your language, whether or not you want to know that or not, it directs your thoughts. One of the reasons that cursing in itself isn't so healthy is because if you notice, it's used to express discomfort or anger or animosity. I get that, anger and animosity are very similar, but, strong and varying degrees of anger or debauchery of certain degrees, right? Things that just have negative weight and negative connotations to them. And that's what those words represent. And so the excessive use of them will garner that in you. And I know people that fully disagree with me and say that this is how they express themselves and everything like that. And while I can respect that, I think that it'd be like saying, well, everyone should be a marathon runner, or everyone should be a Navy SEAL, or everyone should be a power lifter, or everyone should be a professional gamer, or everyone should be a scientist, or everyone should rock climb, or everyone should be a teacher, a cop, a lawyer. You get the idea. We're not all like that. And I think very few of us are cut out to be that brash and that harsh all the time. I don't think that it's natural for a lot of us. I think a lot of us do it to fit in. I think a lot of us do it as a coping mechanism from stress. And so, yeah, it's okay. You don't want that to be a part of you. I don't really want that to be a part of myself. And I've been terrible about it lately. And I want to fix it, And I'm going to. And I'm pretty good at home. But when I'm at work, it's a little bit different. Or when I'm with certain friends, it's a little bit different. But again, you got to limit that. You got to limit that time and limit when you're around those people. And again, I've gone on another little side rant and made this video unintentionally longer than I wanted it to be. But to wrap it all up and to tie a bow on the situation, you have to limit the things that can cause tension in your life, stress in your life. And we have the tendency to brush off certain things. Well, this is a little thing and it won't really bother me that much. This is a little thing here and it just won't with it. Yeah, but when you let that slide, when you let it accumulate, you'll have all of these little things that shouldn't bother you that much. And while that's true when they're isolated, when they're together, they compound themselves. Being in a toxic environment or being with friends or with a significant other or someone that creates toxicity in you. And if they don't directly create toxicity, they enable a situation that creates toxicity. And then at the same time, you're listening to terrible music choices, and then you're going to go home later and watch a terrible movie or do a terrible video game experience where you're using harsh language against people. You get the idea. It can grow. And then you aren't in control. You're losing control, and you're just cultivating harsh words and harsh thoughts, and these patterns start to develop in your brain, and then your heart feels it, and your soul feels it, and your inner workings default to this pattern. And so we have to break out of those. So that's what I want to offer up too, is yet another layer on how to control the way that you think, ultimately to make you a better person. But really my main focus is to, because the brand of John and Kyle, and what I want to do with this channel is to focus on creativity and cultivating it. This is an important aspect, and one that I try to utilize to take care of my creativity so that it's protected. Because if my soul isn't fed the right diet, I can't expect it to produce art from itself that is healthy and beautiful. So anyways, I hope that these words help you. I hope that you are able to absorb them and take them, and I hope that nothing here felt like a personal attack. That's not what I mean for it to be, but when you get introspective, sometimes you have to look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. And that's also a skill you have to practice. Good luck. Take care. Keep creating. Keep having fun. And I'll see you next time.